Sunday the 4th of Feb 2024, Grammy Sunday. Got a little bit of audio coming up actually. There is a rumour going around that Putin's parrot, Tucker Carlson, sees himself as a future vice president. So we'd just like to ask you the question. Tucker Carlson would make a very, very bad VP. It's a bad idea for Tucker Carlson to even think he could be VP. Agree or disagree? It's as simple as that. I'll put the statement up there. Tucker Carlson would make a bad, really bad VP. You just press the like button if you agree. So, why is he in Russia? What's he doing there? Who's he talking to? Is he defected? Is Tucker Carlson going to defect? Oh, Buckley, that phone call.
Hey Dad, it's Buckley here, prodigal son. I'm putting on a bit of an accent so that I can't be traced. Hey Dad, how's the Kremlin treating you? I hope you're enjoying your time gallivanting around the oligarchs and bear wrestling enthusiasts, getting some topless chest. Dad, I hear the bush is to die for. Dad, you learning any new bareback horsey dance moves from Putin himself? Or maybe picking up some tips on how to spin your ears to make it sound more favourable. I said, Dad, that's a joke, Dad. Dad, I can just picture you strung through Red Square with a fur hat, stained chinos, and listening to Kid Rock loud. Dad, don't forget to bring me back a souvenir, preferably a KGB surveillance bug. And don't forget the signed portrait of Putin for the living room. Also, Mum said don't forget to WhatsApp her later on, so we can start the new election interference scheme. You know, the one he said we're going to set up. That's if you're not defected, are you, Dad? You're all coming back. Anyway, hope you brushed up on your Russia. Don't forget, Dad, we've got to keep our overlords happy. You know, it's hilarious how Fox News would report your trip. Tucker Carlson, the fearless journalist, braves the icy tundras of Russia to uncover the truth about Putin's secret plan to steal the election. Wait, Dad. It's just you enjoying caviar and cozying up to authoritarian regimes again. But hey, who needs facts when your conspiracy to sow, Dad? I mean, Murdoch does it so well. What questions you could ask Putin? How about some hard-hitting questions like, how'd you keep your hair so perfectly coiffed while watching Trump annex Melania from Mar-a-Lago? By the way, Dad, does he think Alina Yabba-Dabba-Doo is a crap lawyer too? You should ask him if he's willing to trade Alaska for a case of vodka and a signed copy of The Art of the Deal. Dad, I mean, come on. Dad, speaking of Trump, I heard some wild gossip from the MAGA grapevine. Apparently he's planning to build a golden statue of himself on the border and charge tourists for selfies. Can you imagine the Instagram captions? Just me and the big man, maggering it up at the border wall. Sweet. Lol. Dad, are you bonding well in Russia? Do they have a fondness too for ignoring pesky little things like human rights? Dad, maybe you can ask Putin if he wants Trump to show him how to, maintain his iron grip on the Republican Party while still finding time for shirtless golf. Marjorie Taylor messaged me to ask you if you find out if anyone's got any pointers on how to rig an election without getting caught. She's asking for a friend, of course. Anyway, Dad, speak soon. Take care.
Russia, 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 Russia. Russia, 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 24.
Ну а сейчас печальная новость из страны, которая, если цитировать Лаврова, называет себя самой свободной, самой справедливой в мире, то есть из США. Телеканал Fox News разорвал контракт с одним из самых известных ведущих каналов в истории нашего с вами любимчика, Такера Карлсона. Выгнали Такера не за его непрофессионализм, и уж тем более не из-за провальных рейтингов. Шоу Такера пользовалось огромной популярностью у простых американцев. Уволили его за то, что Такер, пожалуй, единственный американский журналист, который говорил, чего уж там правду, а еще чаще критиковал Байдена и всю его ЛГБТ-администрацию. Ну то есть, честно, боролся против ЛГБТ, плюс, минус, чумы и прочих медиа-извращенцев. Ну и, конечно же, ругал Украину. Ее Такер называл исключительно коррумпированной черной дырой для американских налогоплательщиков и Зеленского вором. И это в лучшем случае. Ну и по абсолютно случайному совпадению во всех так называемых мейнстрим-медиа Америки последние месяцы Такера обвиняли в дезинформации, разумеется, в работе на Путина и на Кремль.
Anyway, just quickly back in the real world, Trump's gopher has done this interview this morning, which is incredible. And the employee of the month before Tucker Carlson, I think, according to the Kremlin, has also been talking about some of those well-known people who've gone through the door.
And by the way, we had unbelievable people. We had to look. I rebuilt the military.
Yeah, but your critics say you had plenty of personnel mistakes.
No, of course, but everybody does. Obama had. What about Biden? Look at the people running this Biden thing. The difference is I fire people. I fired Comey. I got rid of him.
You didn't fire Christopher Wray.
Well, you know what? At the time, I don't know. Let's see what the final judgment is. But I didn't fire Christopher Wray. I didn't fire people I would have, but I fired a lot of people. You know, I had turnover. They have no turnover right now.
How do you know?
Mr. Speaker,
he does have executive authority right now.
Mr. Speaker, you talk about H.R. 2. Again, Senator Lindsey Graham, your Republican colleagues say that stands no chance of passing through the Senate. You have an opportunity to do something right now about the situation at the border, which you've been calling for new legislation on the border since you first took office. But let me ask you about Donald Trump. He said any Republican who votes for this deal should be ashamed of themselves. You've said you speak to him frequently and that you've discussed this deal with him, quote, at length. Is Donald Trump calling the shots here, Mr. Speaker?
Of course not. He's not calling the shots. I am calling the shots for the House. That's our responsibility. And I has to be secured. The president has the authority right now. He doesn't need another act of Congress. He could do it right now, but he's unwilling to do it.
As you know, the White House has completely dismissed the allegation that in any way the migrants and surge in migrants have been intentional on the part of the president. In terms of him being able to take action right now, Mr. Speaker, you know as well as I do that an executive order would only be met by legal challenges. You have a chance to do something right now. The details we laid out are not rumors. That is based on negotiators who were in the room. Ask you, though, about your surprise move. On Saturday, Mr. Speaker, you proposed a new standalone aid package to provide funding for Israel. It, of course, comes just hours before the Senate is set to unveil the details, the text of its border deal, which would also include funding for Israel and Ukraine. You just heard Jake call it a ploy, a political stunt. Why not wait for the Senate to put out their bill first?
Well, let's make a couple of things clear here, Kristen. You know, we passed the support for Iran many months ago, 3 months ago. Immediately after I became Speaker, we sent the necessary resources there. We passed our bill on border security 9 months ago. It's been sitting on Chuck Schumer's desk collecting dust ever since.
First was a report from Politico revealing some of the things Joe Biden calls Donald Trump behind closed doors. We're going to put it up on the screen. None of it surprised me, really, but we're a family show, so we're not going to say any of it. But you get the idea from what you see there.